Come on, Stephen. You get this one. Steady on. That's good. Very good.
The excitement comes from the anticipation, but also from the process. We are bonded to our pots, and it takes us a long time to learn which are our favourite children.
I bought the Knob Creek Pottery property in 1979 after I'd been potting for about 5 years. The main motivation for coming to Knob Creek was what we found here when we came, which was lots of old buildings, flat land, a fuel supply, and one of the most wonderful environments in Queensland.
This place where we live is really special. I can remember when I first met Steve and I came down here to visit, and I just thought, this is just the most amazing place. And we draw so much inspiration from it.
The whole process of the Anagama firings is long and involved, and it starts with the making of the pots itself. It's kind of hard to overstate the importance of the clays. So we experiment a lot with different clays, different textures, different chemicals in the clays. That'll determine the basic outcome of what we make. And we're working towards an outcome which we hope will produce pots never before seen, and that each person involved will get something out of the kiln that they'll never forget. I wanted to let spontaneity have its way, let the fire have more control, and so I shifted to the long climbing traditional Japanese kiln, which we today refer to as an Anagama kiln.
I like to produce a lot of textural work because in the Anagama kiln, textural work is enhanced by the ash glazes in a way that you can't get in a gas kiln.
During the loading process itself, we're very careful with each piece. So each piece has to be balanced so it doesn't move, and it has to be directed towards the flame in certain ways. And we're carefully thinking about how we will decorate that pot using the draft from the fire, something like an airbrush. And hopefully we've set them up in a way that'll be comfortable with the fire and just excite us by producing something that is blown out of the volcano or dredged up out of the ocean or dug out of an archaeological dig. Natural stuff that's been created by a person but evolved by nature. It requires a lot of labour, both in the loading, where we need at least 3 people, and the firing, where we need 4, maybe 5 people to fire. This time I fired with Stephen Roberts and my son Renton Bishopric and my partner Sue McBurnie, and we fired for over 3 days non-stop in shifts. During the firing process we do a series of side stoking and front stoking, and we interchange that to build up the charcoal in the kiln, and the different areas get different heats at different times, and we have a plan we're working to.
When I do that, it's now sucking air through that into that firebox. See, when I opened that up, it started sucking air through here.
You need to be very skilled at putting firewood into the firebox, otherwise you'll smash your pots or you'll crack your pots or there'll be some problem. It's not just a matter of sticking wood in the kiln. We monitor 7 fireboxes and 4 air vents 24 hours a day for 4 days. So the firing is long, it's involved, but it's intensely enjoyable as well. The biggest problem is knowing what we want, and then we have to try and achieve what we want in a machine that isn't entirely easy to read.
Oh, Rent.
You get that? The lack of control over the firing is a little bit like when you're travelling. You set yourself up, you go to some place, you get off, and then you just go into life and see what it throws up. Most of the really good times occur in ways and in places you never thought it'd happen. When we come to unload the kiln, it's a bit like Christmas. We're not sure what we're going to get, and we have some expectations. This one, can you wrap this one in a towel, please, Steve? The top of it's quite interesting. We know there's going to be lots of surprises.
Looks good. Looks very good.
Seeing the first glimpse of the pots is a bit like meeting new people. You kind of think you might like them and you'd like to get to know them better.
That's fantastic. Good, that's nice. I like that.
What about a gift? That looks pretty interesting, doesn't it?
Each time we get stuff we haven't seen before, and that's what keeps us going. And we love the ones that aren't quite perfect as well as the ones that are perfect. It's a really great thing to do, to nurse your pots into existence. And we sit with them intimately through their birthing process.
There's some pots which just find their way into our personal collection. I guess they answer the question about what it is we're trying to make and why we're doing it. If you get one of those pieces every year or two, it's enough to keep you going.
Oh dear.
It started when you were, what, 1 year old? It hasn't stopped.
Looks awesome.
He said he wanted it hot.
That looks great.
We've got a buyer here.
Yes.
You want the cup as well? It's extra. Hurrah!
Give him a hug.
Here we are.
And then you fired it, and then the flame was coming out here, and then the flame was coming out the side, and it was like, whoa, this thing is like an animal.
You've experienced an Anagama firing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And once you're into it,
Yeah.
if you like making pots,
Yeah.
there's no turning back.